What's up YouTube, and welcome back to Homebrew Subaru. In this episode I'm going to be starting on my Forester project. So what's up everyone? First of all, I want to wish you a happy new year, and I hope that you enjoyed your holidays. I didn't do very much, and I don't usually do very much. Kind of worked away here in the garage. Finally made the decision to get the Forester out of the backyard and bring it inside and start working on it. It's a 2004 Forester X model, so non-turbo. And I initially bought this thing just to kind of have as a second vehicle, more of a utility vehicle to use. And then as it's been sitting for a long time because I've had plenty of other vehicles to drive, the Plastidip's kind of deteriorated on it, and the front brakes are all seized up. The front subframes rotted out quite a bit, so I mean it needs some attention and work, especially if I'm going to be using it and try and hold on to the thing for a few years. So when I initially did the Plastidip, it actually looked pretty decent, really changed the appearance of the vehicle. I actually have a video. I just put a little clip in here of me kind of booting around in the snow with it. So yeah, it's a decent vehicle. It's good running. It doesn't actually have a ton of mileage on it. I think it's like maybe 155,000 kilometers on it, so like 90,000 miles, something like that. Definitely usable and definitely worth working on. So anyways, we're gonna go a quick look over of what I've done and what I'm gonna be doing next week, and then talk about the future a little bit. So as you can see, I've managed to get off most of the Plastidip already. Some couple little areas like this stuff I've got to still do. The best method turned out to be like just soak a t-shirt, old t-shirt or rag, with the paint thinner and kind of lay it on there, splash a little bit more on, and that seemed to loosen it up enough that most of it was coming off of the body everywhere. So this fender I actually replaced. It was kind of crushed up in this corner when I first got it, and so that was one of the first things I remember doing to this thing, was getting the fender and painting it. Now the shade was definitely off. Silver is extremely difficult to match up, but I mean it was close enough, and I kind of remember now I never actually clear coated it, so just having the dip on top, and the paint has kind of faded up and chipped off a little bit. So I'm gonna have to paint this fender for sure. That's one of the things I'll end up doing first. But as you can see, most of the dip is actually gone, and just some moisture on there because I had it out in the rain just to kind of rinse off a lot of the thinner that I had on it. Stunk pretty bad. I do have these fast wheels on it that I had on my Impreza a long while ago, and the tires that are on here, you know, aren't properly sized for going off-road very much, but I'll kind of run them for a while. And the back cleaned up really decent. You can see there's not really any rust on the body. This side cleaned up really well. So you can see from this picture here, when I had it sitting outside, the paint's actually in pretty good shape and it doesn't need a lot of attention. But the first things I'm going to start with, I'm going to plan to do the fender, paint it up. I'll pop the grill out to paint it. And I think also the XT spoiler that I've got on the back of it, I'll mask that off and paint that again. Following after that, I have ordered a polisher. Well, I have the polisher already. I've got all the stuff to do a good polishing job, and I'll plan to do a nice buff and polish on the paint to bring it right up and make it look as decent as possible. From there, you know, kind of polish up all the trim, like the bumpers and the side trim, to blacken it up quite a bit, and then go ahead and work on the headlights after that and clean them up. That should pretty much get the exterior, you know, looking really good, at least enough that I can drive it around and not think of it, oh, fucking shitbox. But anyway, I have gone ahead and ordered all new front brakes for it because they're just pretty much toast. And I actually did the rear brakes on this thing just before I started this channel. But I never put on new drums, so I ordered some new drums to replace those at the same time. So yeah, I've got quite a few videos coming up for this thing, and I want to get it to the point that when the insurance runs up on the Impreza, I will be driving this thing, because the plan will be to pull the Impreza in and at least drop the turbo engine in. I don't think it'll be turboed right away, but at least I'll have it so I can drive it in and out, whether I want to work on the 240 or whatever after that. Anyways, I'm just gonna end up babbling because I got too much stuff on the go. Again, Happy New Year, and if you like this video, definitely give it a thumbs up, and if you're new here and you haven't already, please consider hitting that subscribe button for me. Leave your questions and comments further down below, and I'll see you in the next one.